Youngstown, Ohio. A city forged in steel, sweat, and determination. For decades, its blazing blast furnaces produced the backbone of a nation, its skyline a symbol of American industry and strength. Yet beneath the clamor of progress, a darker narrative emerged. In the shadows of the steel mills, a different kind of empire took shape, the Youngstown Mafia. Born in the back rooms of speakeasies and gambling dens, fueled by Prohibition-era profits, the mob's grip on Youngstown tightened throughout the 20th century. They infiltrated unions, corrupted officials, and ruled through fear and intimidation. This is their story. The rise and fall of Youngstown's Notorious Mobsters, a forgotten chapter in American organized crime. This wasn't Chicago or New York, where gangsters became cultural icons. This was Youngstown, where the mob operated in the shadows, their violence brutal, their stories whispered, their influence insidious. Behind the facade of mom-and-pop shops and working-class neighborhoods, a ruthless underworld thrived. From the bloody streets of the flats to the back rooms of social clubs, the Youngstown mob cast a long shadow, its legacy etched in violence and corruption. This is more than just a chronicle of crimes. It's a glimpse into a city's soul, a city grappling with the intoxicating allure and devastating consequences of unchecked power. It's a story that needs to be told, not to glorify criminals, but to understand how organized crime took root in the heartland and the enduring impact it left behind. The roots of organized crime in Youngstown ran deep, nourished by the city's booming industrial growth and a steady influx of immigrant laborers. Among them were ambitious young men, hardened by poverty and lured by the quick riches of bootlegging and gambling. Names like Sandy Naplese, Cadillac Charlie Cavallaro, and the formidable Lenny Strollo emerged from this volatile mix, their ruthlessness matched only by their ambition. Naplese, a cunning strategist with a reputation for violence, established the early dominance of the mafia in Youngstown. He understood that controlling the city's lucrative vice operations, gambling, loan sharking, and later, the burgeoning drug trade, was key to amassing power. He forged alliances, eliminated rivals, and instilled an ironclad code of silence within the ranks. Cavallaro, a flamboyant figure known for his expensive suits and penchant for violence, controlled the city's bustling nightlife. His nightclubs and gambling dens became magnets for high rollers and underworld figures, generating a fortune for the mob and solidifying their grip on Youngstown's entertainment scene. But it was Lenny Strollo who would come to epitomize the Youngstown mob's ruthless efficiency. A cold, calculating operator, Strollo modernized their criminal enterprises, expanding into legitimate businesses and infiltrating labor unions. He understood the power of influence, cultivating connections with corrupt officials and businessmen, ensuring the mob's tentacles reached every corner of the city. The Youngstown mob's rise to power was not without its bloody struggles. Turf wars erupted with rival gangs, vying for control of lucrative rackets and territories. The streets ran red with the blood of informants, ambitious underlings, and anyone foolish enough to cross the mob. One of the most infamous incidents was the bombing of the Sparkle Market in 1962. The grocery store, owned by a man suspected of cooperating with law enforcement, was ripped apart by a powerful explosion, sending shockwaves through the city. The message was clear. Betrayal carried a hefty price. The bombing marked the beginning of a particularly violent chapter in Youngstown's history, a period known as the Mob Wars. As different factions within the mob clashed for dominance, car bombs became a terrifyingly common occurrence. The violence spilled over into public spaces, leaving citizens terrified and questioning the city's future. These weren't just abstract battles for power. They were personal vendettas fueled by greed, ambition, and a chilling disregard for human life. The mob's reach extended far and wide, silencing witnesses, intimidating juries, and infiltrating law enforcement. For a time, it seemed like the mob was untouchable, their reign of terror absolute. Section 4. Whispers from the Underworld. Tales of greed, betrayal, and brutality. Behind the headlines and body counts lay a trove of lesser-known stories, whispered tales of the Youngstown mob's brutality and the reach of their influence. These anecdotes, passed down through generations, painted a chilling portrait of a city held captive by fear and intimidation. There was the story of the local businessman, driven to ruin by a gambling debt he couldn't repay. When threats escalated to violence, the man lost everything: his business, his home, and ultimately, his will to live. His story, whispered in hushed tones, served as a cautionary tale of the mob's ruthlessness. Then there was the tale of the young couple who dared to defy the mob's control over their small business. Their refusal to pay protection money resulted in a campaign of harassment and intimidation, culminating in a fire that destroyed their livelihood and left them living in fear. These weren't isolated incidents, but rather symptomatic of a system where fear and silence were the most effective weapons. The mob thrived on maintaining an aura of invincibility, ensuring that those who dared to cross them paid a hefty price. Section 5. The Price of Omerta. Silence, fear, and the code of the streets. Central to the Youngstown mob's grip on power was the code of Omerta, a strict adherence to silence and loyalty. Breaking this code was the ultimate betrayal, punishable by death. This culture of silence permeated every level of society, from street-level informants to high-ranking officials. The fear was palpable, a constant hum in the background of everyday life. People were reluctant to talk, to report crimes, or to cooperate with law enforcement. The mob's reach extended into courtrooms, where witnesses were intimidated and juries tampered with, ensuring that justice was often elusive. This code of silence had a corrosive effect on the community. It bred distrust, eroded civic engagement, and allowed corruption to flourish. The mob's influence seeped into every aspect of life, creating a climate of fear and resignation. Breaking the cycle of silence would require extraordinary courage and a collective determination to reclaim their city. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. I greatly appreciate you.